Evening, everyone. I apologize. This was 100% my fault. I sent Kris a message on WhatsApp. I'm going to send him another message. I completely apologize. I was at a dinner and I thought it was going to be shorter than it was. Give me one sec. So originally I thought the dinner was going to be at 5, and I was like, there's no way this is going to last 3 or 4 hours. It ended up being at probably sat down around 6, and it was a very long day. I can't believe I still have my jacket on. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. I legitimately came right in and right onto the computer. So, oh, man. One of the best meals I've had, though. I will tell you that. Unbelievable. So, once again, apologize to everybody for being late. The show must go on. Before we get into anything, please read the disclaimer. Pause the video. Please read this. I am not your financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with any agencies. I'm just some guy that does a lot of research in a random office somewhere and puts it out for educational and entertainment purposes only. So, without further ado, Microsoft. Wow, look at all the comments wearing. Yes, I legitimately, it's not just a blazer. I full suit tonight. So it was one of those days, one of those nights. Thought it was going to be an earlier night. It wasn't. That's why it kept changing. Originally, I thought I would be able to push this back to 9, and then 9:30, and then 9:30 became 10. And we're here. Will not miss a show unless we absolutely have to. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Looks like the market had an interesting day today. The Dow was down 430, NASDAQ was down 90, S&P down 36. When I look at the stocks that I'm in, NVIDIA had a good day, up 1.65%. When the market's down, we'll take it. SoFi did not go down that much considering the day we had, which is nice. Meta down a little bit, still well over 600, starting to make a rebound. I think it's going to continue rebounding. I think Meta is too inexpensive here. The valuation is very strong. We got Salesforce earnings coming up, which I am particularly interested in. Ethereum not doing good, 2,800 again. BMNR sold off, to be expected when Ethereum has a day like today. And where else? Hood still up a ton. Anybody who's in it for the past year, so can't be mad at it being down 4%. Amazon up today, which is nice. So, yeah. Overall, not the worst, not the best, but show must go on. I did not buy or sell anything today. Did not have time for a single thing. But recently, I became a shareholder of Microsoft for the first time. Microsoft was one of those companies that I've wanted to be a shareholder of, and somehow I always missed it, and it finally fell, and I finally bought. The earnings are incredibly interesting. I think the setup is very interesting. And when I look at their headline numbers, I see a company that is doing things that not many other companies are in a position to do. Yeah, I am long Costco. Not. Come on, guys. You're really going to troll me with freaking Costco? I may shop there, but I don't own the company. So, look, when it comes to Microsoft, I think it's one of the most complete businesses that we will ever see. And the reason I say that is because when you look at the divisions that they're in, the majority of business compute is done on Microsoft Windows. I'm not talking about tablets and cell phones. I am talking about computing, business computer, personal computing. Microsoft Windows is the dominant factor. That's not going to change. Microsoft Office, I still to this day do not get anything sent to me in Google Sheets or Google Forms. I just don't. Microsoft Office has a stranglehold on business. And then when you look at the hosting infrastructure, before we get to cloud, when you talk about a corporation's M65 environment and then having to host everything on SharePoint, and then the environment with cloud with Azure, and then business continuity with backing up, is a tremendous amount of revenue that Microsoft is generating. And sticky revenue. Companies, unless they are looking at it from an internal perspective and say, we are going to switch to Alphabet's suite of products, which some companies do. I haven't met any that I work with that have, but I know some people that utilize it. It's not the de facto in business. It just isn't. And then we look at the other areas. You look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the #1 business networking site. Microsoft generates a ton of revenue from LinkedIn. You look at gaming. Gaming is absolutely huge. And then we start breaking down the numbers. Remember, they don't report on a annualized January to December basis. They report on a different schedule. Their Q4 is everybody else's Q2. Their Q1 is everyone else's Q3. So in their Q1, which just ended, they reported end of October. It was like the 28th or 29th, $77.7 billion in revenue, 18% year-over-year increase. Operating income, $38 billion, 24% year-over-year increase. Net income on a GAAP basis, $27.7 billion, 12% year-over-year increase. I mean, think about that. That's an annualized run rate of what, $109 billion in net income at that point? That's amazing. Maybe 3 companies exceed 100 billion, Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet at this rate. NVIDIA, after we get next quarter's numbers, maybe NVIDIA will join that club also. In fact, they probably will. The gross margins are good. I mean, operating margins are good. So we look at cloud. Cloud is the revenue growth driver. $49.1 billion in Q1, 26% year over year. The fact that Microsoft Cloud grew 26% year over year with a gross profit margin at 68% is absolutely amazing. And the stat that I focus the most on is the commercial remaining performance obligation, the RPO, because that's the backlog for it. It increased 51% year over year to $392 billion. Really think about that. The RPO increased 51% to $392 billion. They can't build data centers quick enough. Azure and AI demand. Azure and other cloud services, 40% year-over-year growth. I mean, I don't even know how to get bearish on this company at this point. And then we go into the rest of the business, okay? Productivity and business processes. So that's Office, LinkedIn, and Dynamics. Microsoft Dynamics is their SaaS product. It's an ERP system. It is a competitor of Workday, Oracle, SAP, Paycom, et cetera, et cetera. $33 billion consolidated, 17% year-over-year growth. That's really, really big. Microsoft 365 consumer products and cloud, 28% revenue growth. Consumer cloud, 26%. LinkedIn revenue up 10% year over year. Dynamics is actually growing, up 16% year over year. That's really interesting. Their intelligent cloud, 30.9 billion of revenue, 28% year over year increase. Server products and cloud services revenue up 30% in Azure year over year. I mean, their on-prem server revenue increased 1% year over year. You can't get a more complete company from business. And when you look at the operating and the free cash flow, operating income 45.1 billion, 32% year over year. Free cash flow 25.7 billion, up 33% year over year. The fact that they are a margin on free cash flow in the mid 30% range, around a third of every dollar is free cash flow on revenue growth. That's huge. So I am really bullish on them. And here's some interesting stats. Microsoft 365 Copilot adoption is around 70% of Fortune 500 companies. Now, when I look into the structures with this, Copilot's an upcharge. That's not part of 365. So that's really sticky revenue. And as we get into an age where these services are going to be creating more productivity advances, this is going to become larger and stickier revenue. So I'm very excited. When I go into these numbers, let's bring up the valuation after today's changes. It's very hard for me to not remain bullish. Microsoft is trading at 21.86 times forward earnings on a 2027 basis. 37% earnings growth over the next 2 years. This is extremely inexpensive, in my opinion, based on where other companies are trading. The fact that Microsoft and Coca-Cola are trading near the same valuations, and Microsoft has more than double the EPS growth over the next 2 years, screams value. It screams value. I mean, Apple's getting a 30 multiple on forward earnings, probably because they're being looked at as a hardware play nobody's getting rid of, stability, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody's getting rid of Microsoft Office. Nobody's getting rid of Microsoft Windows. Nobody's getting rid of Azure. Nobody's getting rid of SharePoint. Nobody's getting rid of these services. And when you look at their backlog, you look at the backlog of Amazon, you look at the backlog of Alphabet, there is just more cloud services needed in the future. We know that that's a fact. We know it's an absolute fact. So why are we fighting it? To me, I never owned Microsoft. I've always wanted to own them. I never felt that there was a good time. And then when there was a good time, I was allocating capital other places. Now that I have those other positions built out, I think that Microsoft is in a good position for me going forward, where I feel good about deploying capital in Microsoft rather than an S&P 500 index fund at the moment in personal accounts. Now, let me be clear about what I just said. I am a firm believer that in my retirement accounts, a large percentage should be S&P 500 index fund as a hedge against myself, because I am smart enough to know that I don't know everything and that I will make mistakes and I will get things wrong. And having a large portion of my retirement account in an S&P 500 index fund allows me to sleep well at night, because if I blow up my other accounts, it becomes a safety net and something for me to fall back on. So please keep that in mind when I talk about investing, that I am not going ham on individual stocks. I am diversified and I have a lot of ETFs. But be that as it may, I'm looking at deploying capital right now. Microsoft is one of the best buys for me because I already have a full position on NVIDIA and Meta. I am not necessarily interested in allocating more capital there unless NVIDIA keeps falling. If NVIDIA got to 160 with the position that I currently have at under 17 times earnings, I would probably have to buy more. But right now, it's not a priority. I'd rather build out the Microsoft position because I see a lot of future demand, and I don't think that this is going to stop anytime soon. And I think they're going to continue to grow. And if we look at the projections in the analyst community, I am trying to get better at the transitions, everybody. We're looking at, I'm sorry, I'm looking at two different sides of the screen. So I'm trying to be conscious of how this is being viewed on the stream right now. So when we look at the forward revenue growth, the fact that 51 analysts for this year and 51 analysts for next year, and when I say this year, I mean this fiscal year, which ends June 26, and then next fiscal year, June 27, you're looking at mid-teens on the growth. And then 27 analysts, mid-teens again. So this should continue to be a compounder for at least the next 3 years because we're only in Q1 of this year. And on EPS growth, we're getting mid to high teens each year for the next 3 years. So can Microsoft beat the S&P? I don't know, but I think it's got a halfway decent chance at beating the S&P, especially if they go into pure buyback mode. I mean, if we look at, I believe I built that out somewhere. Give me one sec. I could have swore I built out a sheet showing when they buy back all the shares and stuff. I don't know where it is, and quite honestly, I really don't want to look for it. So we'll just look at the cash flow statement and go off the cash flow statement. It's 10:18 and my mind is still going. I don't know. I got something wrong with me, everybody. So here's the cash flow statement. And it's on quarterly. Let me turn that into annual basis. So on an annual basis, they're around what, 77 billion or so in free cash flow. And then they're paying 24 billion on the dividend, and they repurchase 18.4 billion in shares. I think we're going to see the share. I mean, over the years, they bought back a ton of shares. The largest year was almost 33 billion in 2022 fiscal year buybacks. I think we're going to see this buyback number increase over the next couple of years. And eventually, when Microsoft goes into the mode of just maintenance and not expanding their CapEx allocation, we know it's not going to be this fiscal year. And most likely, it may not be next fiscal year. But in the 2028 fiscal year, we could see Microsoft go into maintenance mode, and all that extra capital from the cash from operations expanding go to buybacks, which should give a big boost to their EPS. So from a long-term perspective of the next 5 to 10 years, I think Microsoft is going to be one of the companies in a winner take most, because at the end of the day, I just don't think that there's a lot of companies that can compete with Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet. I don't see anybody moving in on Microsoft's territory on the computing platform. I don't see anybody moving in on their territory on Office or LinkedIn or SharePoint. I just don't see it. So that's where I'm at Microsoft. I don't take many chances these days. I am just a long-term buyer. And I got to tell you, Microsoft is one of the most interesting companies right now for me. So that's where I'm at with Microsoft. That's a very condensed version of this. And I want to see if there's anything on CNBC. that I missed today, specifically Microsoft related. So give me a sec. Let's see if there's anything here. I didn't see. Oh, final trades. We got a Palantir final trade. I wonder if that's buy or sell. Who else was on CNBC today? Fed is holding back AI suppressed labor market. That looks interesting. Oh, no. Ooh. All right. So we got two final trades. I'm going to bet one's from halftime, one's from fast money. Let's see. Oh, I do want to watch both of those with everybody and react to them. So just give me a sec. I'm just skimming through the rest of this stuff to see if there's anything else that's interesting. All right. Let's start with this. Looks like fast money. Let's start with this.
GM, I think it's actually 6.5 times next year. Stay there, stay long.
Karen?
Yes, Ulta Beauty reports on Thursday.
Steve?
This one's for Dan Ives, Palantir.
Jackson Dart's going to light it up tonight. PSX, Melissa.
PSX is another, Phillips 66 is another company that I've always wanted to own and I never have. The refiners theoretically should do well. I need to do more work on that. I should look at PSX. I should really look at PSX. I need to do more work on it. Let's see the other one. Hold on. Oh, Ives was on today? Oh, we got to see what Dan Ives said. Hold on. Let's see who wants Amazon and who wants Apple.
Eastern, Adam Parker, Chris Harvey has a new gig with CIBC Capital. He will be here. Sherry Paul of Morgan Stanley and Alex Kanchowitz as well. You hear the music. Is that? Well, we'll do final trades first. Bryn, quick, what do you got?
Nike, I think it's got a good setup into the low 70s.
All right, what do you got?
Amazon, AWS re-accelerating.
A good momentum name in the Joe T, Delta Airlines.
A good quality name, Apple. Remarkable resilience.
All right.
Whoa. Joe Terranova said Apple. That can't be in his ETF, is it? His ETF's a momentum ETF. I would be shocked if Apple's in that. Now, all right, before I play the Ives thing, now I'm curious. Let's look at the Joe T ETF. I may actually have to go to the website because there's no way that it's in the top 10 holdings. Joe T. If this is in the top 10 holdings, I'm going to I should do something else in my life. Yeah, it's not. Alphabet, look at that. Las Vegas Sands, they're making a move. I should look. Welltower? That was not on my bingo card. Welltower being in the top 10 of the Joe T ETF was not on my bingo card by any means. That's interesting. Welltower is interesting. Look at that chart. Oof. 52% past year. Look at that chart. Interesting. All right, let's see what our buddy Dan Ives had to say today. If you knew how many things I had to click behind the scenes, I am getting quicker and better at these transitions, considering I didn't have everything lined up in a row because I legitimately just walked in and went right to the computer. Whoa. There's no sound. It says there's sound. Hold on.
Here on set, he just released his 2026
Can you guys
outlook,
hear it?
forecasting 20% upside for the tech sector next year. When we say tech sector, define it. All of the NASDAQ, Mag 7 names, what are you seeing?
I think big tech, if I think about like big tech in the AI trade, that's probably going to be up anywhere from 20 to 25%. But I think it's really the AI revolution stocks. What I view as sort of the winners, up 20% at a minimum. Look, it's my view. This is just starting the next stage of the AI revolution. I mean, all of our checks are showing, even in the last 3-4 weeks, about 20-25% of deals are actually accelerated from the hyperscalers. So that's why I view it from software to cybersecurity, the infrastructure. I continue to view it as, this is just the beginning of the monetization of the AI revolution.
What do you make of these deals, though, excuse me, that NVIDIA has been making in terms of investing in a partner, which is basically a customer? Because in this case, the deal is that Synopsys will use CUDA, and so we'll become a paying customer. So they're investing $2 billion in stock in order to gain this customer. At some point, do you question that, or is that all fine?
Look, I mean, as someone like myself that covered tech, late 90s vendor financing, so obviously, worries, is that a red flag? Look, I view it as this is an AI arms race in terms of everything that's playing out. So for NVIDIA, for OpenAI, for what we see AMD and others, like they're putting stakes in the ground. I view it as for every dollar they spend, they're getting back $8 to $10. Now, in the near term, there could be questions until it plays out. But I think we're going to look out 2, 3, 4 years at these deals. And that's how, like NVIDIA, they're going to continue to be like, that's the one chip in the world that's fueling the AI revolution. And I don't see that slowing down. That's why I love everything Jensen's doing.
Were you surprised? I'm curious that Synopsys didn't trade better today, understanding that stock went from 650 to 420 in a straight line. That announcement today, $80 billion company, $2 billion investment. It traded well. I thought it traded a lot better than it did today.
Yeah, look, I think, if you look at Oracle, the $100 dip ever since OpenAI, the view almost like good is bad, like being associated in NVIDIA, OpenAI, is that like a too big to fail moment? But I think we're going to look out, like, I'm surprised the stock didn't trade higher. I think there's something where I view that as more of an opportunity. Given my view, like that's one of those sort of second, third derivatives of this AI revolution trade into 26.
So Dan, on the peripheral, so look at a Palantir. It's been a name that you've been bullish on. It's been hammered right after earnings. Is this one that you doubled down on given the valuation, where it's just so outsized for everyone to actually look at it and think that they want to buy it even cheaper than it was, but it's not really substantially cheaper? Do you buy it here?
I mean, Steve, to me, you triple down. Because it's my view on Palantir. I get it's expensive today, but in the next 2-3 years, I think there's $1 trillion market cap because
I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. I can't get behind that. $1 trillion market cap. I mean, everybody knows I am a shareholder. Everybody knows that I'm one of the original people when this was still looked at as a black box company. He said next 2 to 3 years. I'm looking at the forward guidance. So the next 2 years will be 2027. Next 3 years will be 2028. They're expected to do 11.6 billion in revenue. Let's say they hit 15 billion in revenue. 15 billion, and let's just say they're doing, what do you want to say, 7 billion in free cash flow? You tell me that this company is still going to expect it to trade at 120 times free cash flow? That's insanity. Absolute insanity. I can't do it. I can't make the freaking numbers work. I'm sorry. I agree with Dan Ives on a lot of things. A lot of things. I can't get behind this forward valuation on Palantir. I just can't do it.
20-30% of all the deal for the trillions of dollars being spent on the use cases, I mean, they're playing a different game in terms of any AI use case in the enterprise. Palantir's first call. So that's still not reflected in the stock. And I get it's super expensive and it's become sort of an emotional bull bear debate. But I think this is a stock that, we've talked about 200, 225, 250 in terms of my view where it goes.
I agree with a lot of things that I've said. Everybody knows that I just can't get behind that. I'm going to do a full Palantir episode. Love the company. I think they're going to be a bigger company in the future. I just don't think they're going to be $1 trillion in the next 3 years. I think that's crazy. Do I think they will get to $1 trillion? I do think they'll get to $1 trillion at some point. It may take 7 to 10 years, but I don't know. We'll see. So I did want to talk about one other company tonight. And I know we titled it Microsoft. Kris and I were going to do our episode. I screwed it up, and I apologize. I absolutely botched it with dinner, but I wanted to make sure that I still went live tonight. So I wrote an article on Verizon. I'm going to link it in the chat. If you leave a comment on the article, either tonight or tomorrow, I will respond. So if you have Seeking Alpha, you can go read the article. And if you leave a comment, I will be responding. Now, there are a few things I want to discuss. First one is their new CEO. So I think this is really, really bullish for them. And Dan Schulman, who is the previous CEO of PayPal, has now taken over as the CEO of Verizon. And he's had a very long career. He's held senior leadership positions in companies such as Priceline, Virgin Mobile USA, American Express, and AT&T. The fact that he had senior leadership positions in AT&T and Virgin Mobile USA is very bullish to me. Ex-CEO of PayPal, and keep in mind, forget PayPal's stock price. Under his tenure, their revenue tripled and their EPS quintupled. Keep that in mind. He's also on the board of Cisco, Lazard, and PayPal, and he will now also be on the board of Verizon, in addition to being the CEO. So his performance package is tied to Verizon's performance. Verizon's been a horrible investment over the past decade. This company has actually declined by more than 10% over the past decade. The only good thing has been the dividend. You could have made way more money in the S&P 500. I'm not looking at for the company. You know, has everybody seen Moneyball? This is how I look at stocks. Brad Pitt, who played Billy Bean, said the best thing to David Justice in the movie. I'm not paying you for the player that you used to be. I'm paying you for the player that you are today. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're paying the price today for the company Verizon is today, not the company it was. And I'm looking at it as, does it go lower today? Maybe, but I would have to say, chances are it's bottomed out or close to it. It can get worse, but the likelihood is probably not a high probability of things getting worse, although they could. So I'm basically investing in them now for the company they are today, not the past decade of what has happened. Now, his compensation is in the form of RSUs and PSUs. The RSUs are to, all right, let me take a step back. He had a investment, he was working for an investment firm, and the RSUs were to compensate him for the capital he was leaving on the table to leave his job. That stuff I'm not really looking at. They're time-vested RSUs. The one tranche vests on December 31st, 2026. The other tranche, December 31st, 2027. This is also a short-term deal. This is not an indefinite deal. His contract started on October 4th, 2025, and it's going through December 31st, 2027. So he only has 2 years and a month left on this contract for him to get all the performance goals done. So the PSUs, which are performance-based units, he has 30 million worth of TSR-based PSUs. And the way that this is going to work is each tranche is going to be paid out in a range of 0 to 200% based on Verizon's TSR, which is total shareholder return relative to its peer competitor group. So I would think that that's based on AT&T and T-Mobile, if I had to guess. It didn't actually say that in the Form 8K that they issued. And the first window is October 17, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. Second window being October 17, 2026 through December 31st, 2027. So he can double the PSU value from 30 to 60 million. And if he underperforms, they go to 0. He doesn't get them. That's a big incentive. So his first section of the total shareholder return, he's either getting 30 million, 60 million, or 0. Big incentive, big carrot. Now, the other side of the structure, he has 222,222 PSUs that have a payout range of 0 to 300%, which could amount to 666,666 shares based on an average share price goal of getting Verizon to be between 55 and 75 a share. That's the band. So the award is split into 9 tranches, kind of the way Elon's is, and tied to an average share price within the 55 to 75 band. So when I look at this, Dan Schulman is heavily rolling. I swear to God, the community is hilarious. You guys are freaking great. Rolling up the sleeves like he's about to carry him. You guys are hilarious. No, I'm rolling up the sleeves because it's freaking hot in my office. And I opened the window, but for some reason it's not freaking doing anything. It's freaking hot in here. So the RSUs and the PSUs are a huge incentive. Now, we know the band is 55 to 75, which even at 55, I'll take that upside plus the dividend. I did not drink at dinner. I had water. I don't drink and drive. They were drinking wine, everybody I was with all night. I actually had some wine spilled on me by accident, and I smell like wine right now. And what they were drinking smelled so good. I can't do it. Is I will not drink and drive. Won't do it. And I was fiending for it because of what we were eating. Oh my God. But yeah, I don't condone it, won't do it. So water all night. As far as Verizon goes, I think that this is a misunderstood company based on their debt profile. I think less and less people look at the fact that they are a company that is generating $50 billion in EBITDA, that they are doing, how much are they doing in free cash flow? 20-something billion, 21 billion around? I think it's a misunderstood company, and we're getting paid almost 7% to hold. So I'm willing to increase my shares and see what Shulman can do. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about them. Listen, if you're into non-tech plays and you're into companies that are technically boring for all intents and purposes, I think you'll like my article on Verizon. It's not the sexiest. It's not big tech. But I think it's a misunderstood company. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Now, we have a big couple of weeks coming up. We have the Fed. I think we're getting a rate cut. We have S&P 500 inclusion. Is SoFi getting in? I have no idea. I want SoFi to get in. We'll see what happens. And I don't know. We'll see. If SoFi gets in the S&P, I think a lot of people are going to be happy. And I'm excited for Q4 earnings. I want to see more about these bank deals. I want to see more about the stable coin. And I think SoFi is going to do really well in 2026. I'm a reinvigorated bull. I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I am both feet in, no longer looking to exit the position. And I am very happy being in there once again. So I'm going to, at this point, it is 10:41. We're just going to interact with all of you. I'm going to interact with all of you for a while, and then I am going to go take a shower and go to bed. Because it was a long freaking day. So, do I get mistaken for Dennis the Menace? I was Dennis the Menace. No, I don't know. I've never been mistaken for Dennis the Menace. Steven, was Microsoft named as a secret nod to Bill's tiny? I don't even know what you mean by that. Hoping SoFi hits 60 plus in 20. I mean, if SoFi hits 60 plus, I think there's going to be a lot of happy people in the community. I don't know if that freaking happens. I couldn't tell you that. Let's see. TSM thoughts. I really like TSM. I'm not a shareholder. When is Powell's speech? Is Powell speaking tomorrow? If Powell's speaking tomorrow, I will be watching it. Look, I can't tell you what to do with Alphabet. This is what I will tell you. I am planning on writing an article this week downgrading it to neutral from my own personal opinions because I was pounding the table at 150 and I think the easy money's been made and I think it will continue to appreciate, but I do not think it's going to be I don't think it's going to replicate what it did this year, next year, if that makes sense. Oh, it was earlier. What did Powell say? Was he freaking data dependent? Data dependent. I don't know if we're going to cut. It doesn't matter what Waller or anybody else said. Yeah, Powell's getting very boring. Let's see. Yeah, Ethereum can go lower. No question about that. Ethereum can go lower. Shopify is one of those companies. I think it's an amazing business. I've never owned it. I probably should have owned it. I always found a reason not to own it. I'll take you the number. Take a look at the numbers real quick, Austin. It's so expensive. I mean, I get it. There's a ton of EPS growth. But this is an expensive freaking company. Very expensive. I don't know. It certainly underperformed the market in the past 5 years. I mean, I get it. If you bought it during the freaking crash, you've done really well. It's gone from 37 to 149. But I mean, 5 years ago, it was at 120. So, I don't know. It's a great business. Numbers don't make sense for me. Meta or Microsoft, I can't choose. They're both great. I can't pick one over the other. They're both freaking great. I use Seeking Alpha for my forward PE numbers. A lot of people are bullish Meta. The big difference is I've been a Meta shareholder since the IPO. And I've written I've covered Meta publicly before all the streamers. And I'm going to show the receipts right now. So like when you hear me talk about Meta, I'm not jumping on some bandwagon, okay? So I started writing on Seeking Alpha in 2018, and I started writing about Meta when it was still called Facebook in 2018. And I have never not been bullish through everything. Through everything. Even when the stock was down 70% year to date. Very bullish. November 1, 2022. When nobody wanted to be bullish except for me and Gershner and Chris Patel, because we understood what everybody else didn't. So I'm not jumping on some bandwagon. I am the bandwagon with freaking Meta. I have not looked at BLDR. Yeah, I said Chris, me, Gershner, and Chris. Chris was pounding the table in 2022 also when it fell to 90 or 80. Worried about Meta's debt? No. Why would I? So we're gonna really discuss this right now. So let's give a quick lesson in debt. Okay. Are we worried about Meta's debt? The answer is no, and here's why. When you go through the financial statements of Meta, okay, they have $44.5 billion in cash and short-term investments on hand. Short-term investments can be liquidated very quickly. They also have another $25 billion in long-term investments. Now, the only debt I care about is long-term debt. I don't care about capital leases. I don't care about that stuff. Long-term debt, $28.8 billion. They can legitimately write a check tomorrow and get rid, or in a week and get rid of it in one check. They felt it was advantageous to tap the debt market than utilize cash. For whatever reason, Zuckerberg did that. He did it. Now, keep in mind, when you look at their income statement, their interest expenses right now are only costing them $960 million. Now, maybe that increases next quarter a little bit because of when debt was issued, but this is also a company that is doing $98 billion in EBITDA. Okay. $98 billion in EBITDA. They can afford to have $28 billion on the balance sheet as debt. This is not a company that I am worried about leverage at all. So am I worried about $28 billion worth of debt? No, not at all. Narrative, ma'am, ask your question again. I must have missed it. I don't ask it again. I must have missed it. Sorry. Worried about NVIDIA? Come on. Who's this Chris and how would you describe him? I would describe Chris as one of the smartest investors that I've met. And you can disagree with his takes on things. His IQ for investing and how he understands the economy is really good. He is superb. He is one of the people I really enjoy fleshing out ideas with behind the scenes. And I got to tell you, there's not many people like him. And he is definitely in a very small circle that I talk to a lot about investments. And I am very thankful for that. So if I had to describe Chris, just he's superb at breaking stuff down and doing research and investing. I do agree. I think Meta is going to do very well over the next couple of quarters. I need a Zuck picture in the background. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Narrative ma'am, I see your question. No, I did not. I don't even know what the benefit would be of me uploading all my articles on Notebook LM or anything. I don't even know if I have the time to do that. I have written 1,420 articles on Seeking Alpha, so I'm not downloading all of them and throwing them in AI. I'm too lazy, and I don't even see the benefit in doing it. Let's see. Canva, no, I'm not looking into it. Yeah, look, I pay $20 a month to Google, so I get all their premium products. I mainly do it for the space on Google Drive. I mean, look, this is what I'd say. If I was going to start investing today, I would tell myself that, and a lot of people are not going to like this. This is just me. I would tell my younger self 50% of everything I'm investing, throw in the S&P 500. Because you don't have to think. You're going to catch everything that becomes big, and it's a hedge against yourself. I mean, I really do think that is what I would tell myself. And if I had to pick some positions right now, I'm still on the theme of the big just get bigger. I really am. I think Microsoft gets bigger, Amazon gets bigger, Meta gets bigger, Alphabet gets bigger, NVIDIA gets bigger. So my favorite milk company, Ronnie Brook Farms, did Amit actually eat the medium rare steak? This is what we're going to say to everybody, all right? You heard it here first. You will never hear me make fun of Amit again about steak, ever. He housed. Now, this stuff, I think he put pictures up. Medium rare, the way that I like it, still moving. He did not hesitate. He conquered, and he said he loved it. I will never make fun of him again for steak, ever. I think he is converted. PM or MO, I mean, I own MO. I do not own PM. And I like MO here. PM is interesting because it's Zin, but I mean, I don't know. June, I agree. Kris is a sniper. Oh, look at that. Sir Joseph Carlson. That's right. We use Sir because Joseph Carlson is better than me. Kris won't invest in NVIDIA, but will full port SMCI. That's hilarious. I don't know if he'd full port SMCI, but I got to tell you, I did look at SMCI today because I saw it was around 33, 34. And I got to tell you, getting interested. I got to look at it again. I have no idea what's my all-time favorite article that I wrote. Hail the Great. I'm an accountant, so Office is my Excalibur, but I can see how AI, if done right, can cut down the amount of licenses across the board that Microsoft sells for every app. Any concerns? I'll play devil's advocate. What if it enhances as an upcharge where with your M365, you pay an upcharge for Copilot for efficiency? Because I'm not seeing that we're getting rid of licenses. I'm seeing that we're still buying licenses for everybody and upcharges for Copilot for people. So I think that that's going to be the model. I think the NVIDIA Synapsys partnership is interesting. I got to look more into it. I saw that Jensen was on today. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I doubt that Amit took pictures of Steve's steak plate. And no, that we got 4 or 5 porterhouses for the table. They were all cooked medium rare. They were all the same. It was not my plate. I am telling you, it was his plate, and that's what it is. Hold on. I sent Amit 2 pictures tonight of what my steak looked like. I'm going to email this to myself and show the stream. I think you guys know how I eat my steak. I mean, a lot of people may get grossed out by this. But I mean, I like it still freaking moving. All right. But yeah, no. I am 100%. I mean, maybe I'll call Amit now and see if he's up so I can tell him I'm sending the record straight with everybody. Let's see if he's up. No, he didn't pick up. Maybe he's sleeping. I mean, we all know Amit likes his sleep, right? All right, now keep in mind, it was very dark in the restaurant I was at, and I didn't want to put flash on my camera. You'll be able to tell by these pictures. I mean, I'm looking at this, and I just want to go get another one. So that is how I like it. And I will tell you this how it was the other night, and Amit freaking ate it like a champ. He devoured it. So once again, you'll never hear me give him crap about the way he eats steak. Because he ate it just like this. It wasn't my plate. This is my plate tonight, but when we had dinner the other night, this is exactly how he ate it. So we cannot make fun of Amit. He is no longer a medium well guy. I can tell you that right now. Oh, if BLDR is like QXO, I'll look at it. I did not have any dessert. Amit had dessert. I did not have any dessert. I'm actually trying to not eat as much sugar these days. 1-800-AMIT now. That's hilarious. If I had Jerome Powell's number, I would call him up every day and harass him. Amit's on a date right now. Really good for him. I don't do kefir. Sorry, that I'm not doing it. CoreWeave I'm starting to like. I've never tried Japan Hokkaido milk. Sorry. Yeah, this is medium rare. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. Do I think Amazon can break out with Apple? Not sure what you mean by that, but I do think it can break out. June, I have no idea how many freaking positions I own. Yes, I've had Wagyu. I actually think Wagyu's overrated, personally. No, Chels, I have not considered any space stocks. I'm just not into that. I know Matt's done really well with it, so I don't know. I'm not into it. I do think eventually that stuff's gonna be really big, but I'm just not into it. Nimbus, Nibius, yeah, I know, Kurt. Same difference, right? Nibius. Why do they call me the milkman? Is I love whole milk and I drink a lot of milk. I need to look into more about the whole Japan thing. I don't know. We'll see. Look, I think Kris and Tanner are both very smart. Don't ask me to choose. They're both my friends. I think they're both very smart guys. Listen, that vitamin D is good for your bones. Whole milk. Oh, let's see. No, I don't like it. I'm not a beer person. I mean, if I'm drinking, it's hard liquor. I have no interest in beer. Yeah, scotch and bourbon are my two things. Oh, yeah, listen, deer, I'll eat venison all day. I like all that gamey stuff. Uh, do you watch Meet Kevin? No, I do not. Favorite single malt scotch? It's a good question. How about this? I'm a big fan of Highland Park. I am a big fan of Johnny Walker 18 and Johnny Walker Blue, but I'll argue 18 is just as good as Blue. I'll argue that all day. I did have some Blue a couple weeks ago, and I freaking love Blue. I have a bottle open right now. I'm a big fan of Oban. I don't really like Macallan that much, but when it comes to bourbon, you may think that this is crazy. Buffalo Trace, pound for pound, is the best freaking price point for freaking bourbon. And I think Weller 12 is freaking amazing. So I'm not a tequila guy. No, I like my dark liquor. And I really don't drink it a lot, but I do like my dark liquor. I do not eat Pizza Hut. I apologize. Yeah. So here's the problem with drinking. Okay. I have been told many times that I have too heavy of a hand. I'm not allowed to pour wine for anybody because I don't believe in pouring like a quarter glass. I usually pour like 3/4 of a glass. So I'm not allowed to pour wine for anybody. Same thing with scotch. If I'm getting a glass of scotch, I'm pouring a glass of scotch, not like a little bit. And I just never realize that it's freaking 4 or 5 shots, and I'll drink a glass of scotch the next morning when I have a headache. I'm like, why the hell do I have a headache and feel like crap? So, yeah, I don't really drink anymore because I cannot. My hangovers are very bad. Oh, listen, Austin, if you can get bourbon, you know what you need to get. There's some stuff. So I'll tell you this. If you're into bourbon, shout out Bourbon Junkies. I don't know if they still have their YouTube channel. I haven't watched them in a while, but shout out Bourbon Junkies. I used to watch their content so much. They really make good freaking content about bourbon. I'm sure they're still making content. In fact, let's see. Are they making content? Oh, they're still making content. These guys are, in all seriousness, these guys are great. You can type Bourbon Junkies into YouTube. They have 141,000 subscribers. Shout out Bourbon Junkies. Yeah, water's becoming my favorite drink too. I'm with you. I have no idea what narrative is. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, I got a good mixed drink if you're interested. You want a mixed drink? Go make yourself a transfusion. I make my transfusions a little differently. There's nothing better on a summer day than making a freaking transfusion. So the way that I make them, Welch's grape juice, Kettle One vodka, Sprite. Now here's where it gets a little different. People use ginger ale for some reason. I don't understand why. Sprite and then a lime. It is delicious. Listen, some people like Tito's. I like Kettle One for vodka. I think Kettle One is delicious for drinks, whether it's straight or kettle. Some people like freaking Goose. I used to like Goose. Kettle's my favorite vodka, so I'm going Kettle One. But yeah, Welch's grape juice, Sprite, not ginger ale, Sprite, Kettle One, and a lime. Delicious. The liquor store thieves love Grey Goose too. That's funny. I do not like rum. I'm not a rum guy. I don't do kefir either. Let's see. I think that we will be in a longer bull market, but I want to see what the Fed does. The Fed needs to cut. If the Fed doesn't cut, I think we're going to 62.50 or so. So Yeah, Friday's a big day. Let's see what happens. I mean, or is SoFi getting in? Who knows? We know that they love financials, so Charles, I have a few. I have no idea what Freshworks are. Buy some brown clothes. What do you mean? I like blue. I like light colors. What can I say? Nah. Listen, I don't understand the whole obsession with Richard Mille. I don't understand it. In all seriousness, they look like a freaking toy my nephew would wear. I don't get it. And I understand the intricacies of it and everything. They're not for me. I would never buy one of those. Ever, ever, ever. Even if I could afford to drop that type of money on a watch, I would never freaking do that. Patriots going to the Super Bowl. Drake May came out of nowhere, right? Yeah, June, I'm redoing my office at some point. I'm getting rid of this freaking couch. I'm going to put my desk on that wall. I'm going to freaking probably build something on this wall right here. So I'm redoing my office at some point. I got to move everything around. I thought that this couch was going to be a good idea. It never gets used. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. No Christmas decorations. It's like a beigeish off-white, I guess. Can you move the door? I mean, I can open the door. I can't move the door. I'm retired from golf. We don't play golf anymore. What time is it? Jesus Christ, it's 11:30 already. I do not wear bibs eating fine steaks. No, no, no. No, trust me, the door's real. It's absolutely real. Yeah, Charles, it's not going to be sleep time anytime soon. I need to decompress and watch TV for a little bit. I am a John Wick fan. When bricks, that's funny. Oh, if I had a dog, that dog would freaking love it. T-bones all the time. Listen, if I ever move, get a German Shepherd or two. Tell you that right now. Love German Shepherds. I would like to get 2 German Shepherds and train them. Beautiful dogs. Blasphemy, Sergio. David Craig is the best 007. Stop it. Stop it. Daniel Craig is absolutely the best 007. Six bunnies, Spencer? Wow. German Shepherd mixed Husky. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, GoldenEye, greatest game ever, top 5. Did you see that PlayStation's making a new Bond game? It looks ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm actually really excited for it. Listen, Pierce Brosnan's my number 2. I think GoldenEye is the second best Bond movie ever, right behind Casino Royale. Yeah, Skyfall is pretty good. Listen, we had that rule too. Chop Shop, Odd Job banned. Same with Moonraker Elite. They were both banned because of how small they were. Roger Moore was middle of the pack. I mean, Timothy Dalton was probably the worst Bond. I know nothing about Hot Wheels. I'm sorry. That's a pretty bad conspiracy theory. I don't have Vitek locked in my closet. I did not get any Ascended Heroes product. Oh, wow. Golf course ranking in the Mets section. Look, the Mets section is arguably the best section in the country for golf. I don't care what anybody says. It's incredible. And look, all the freaking good courses, they're all private. I mean, Bethpage Black, obviously, for a public course is great, but it's freaking Bethpage Black. Who the hell wants to walk the black? I used to walk it at twice a year. It is not fun by any means. Bethpage Red's really good too. But I mean, the Mets got some freaking great courses. Great courses. Oh my God. Go Jets and Yanks. Listen, I've played both of those. Okay. Piping, to me, is I played a lot of good courses. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'm going to say it's special. Piping is a special course. The fact that they have an old polo field as a driving range, the way the course is set up, the fescue that is heather and not fescue, it's legit heather. I mean, it is just a special place. And that is all you can say about piping. The Pushcart Mafia? No, I've never even heard of that. No. I've never played Pine Valley. No, I have not. Ever played outside the U.S.? No, I have not. Opinions on mini golf? Not into it. We used to go to a place in Florida with like 12 guys and gamble on mini golf. It was a really good place, but I'm not into it. And I will tell you, I played one of the Wingfoot courses, not the one that they hold the Open on. The other one, I think it's West. I was not impressed at all. I think it's an overrated place. But to be fair, I've never played the East course, but I did think that the West course was overrated. Hudson Valley's pretty ridiculous. Maidstone's ridiculous. Friar's Head's ridiculous. Atlantic is freaking unbelievable. I mean, there's some crazy courses. Like I played Shinnecock. Shinnecock was crazy. I've never played Sabonic. The bridge is supposed to be unbelievable. I've never played there. The Meta's just got crazy golf. Really does. No, I've never played Torrey Pines. Oh, whoa. Go Jets and Yanks. I want to say something, but I'm not going to say it. But I have a feeling we probably know a lot of the same people. That's all I'm going to say about that. If those are the courses you're talking about, I'm going to say we know some of the same people. Two up, two down. Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. Look at that. Look at that. So go Jets and Yanks. You see that Christian Bale is going to star alongside DiCaprio most likely in Heat 2. Can't wait. Yeah, supposedly they're making it. I can't wait for Heat 2. I'm ready. I'm freaking ready. I am ready. Yeah, Jets and Yanks. We're going to have to figure something out. Either I'm going to have to come down there or you're going to have to come up here and we're going to have to get everybody and rent a theater out or something. Like that's going to be freaking ridiculous. I don't know what the story is going to be. I know really nothing about it. I just saw that Christian Bale is signing on. Wait, Damon's in it also? Now you guys are going to make me look this up. Who signed on for this freaking movie? DiCaprio? No freaking way. So they're saying DiCaprio, Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, Adam Driver are all in this? No freaking way. Oh, this is going to be a freaking crazy movie. Wow. This is going to be a big deal, everybody. If Heat 2 was a stock, I'd be investing in this. I mean, look at this lineup so far. And these are just the first 5 tied to it. This is going to be a hell of a freaking movie. This is going to be a hell of a freaking movie. Wow. I'm pretty freaking excited, everybody. I would say Kris is not coming. So pretty hard to say DiCaprio's overrated. I mean, he's a phenomenal actor. I mean, yeah, Michelle, freaking Heat is such a good movie. Oh my God. I happen to like Microsoft's ownership of OpenAI. I mean, look, if OpenAI freaking goes public at 500 billion or $1 trillion, I mean, it's bullish for Microsoft. I mean, go watch if you think DiCaprio is overrated, go watch Departed. Okay. That's one of his best freaking roles ever. Go watch him in The Departed. Please. Oh man, if Anduril goes public, forget. I will be investing heavily in Anduril. I love that company. All right. All right, it's 11:27. I'm going to go for 3 minutes more and then cut it at 11:30. I need to get my life together. Austin, you don't have to buy me a bottle of Four Roses. I appreciate it. They make some okay stuff. I do appreciate it. I don't want you getting in trouble sending it, that type of stuff, so please do not. No, Wahlberg's been in a lot of movies. And it's hard to say Wahlberg's overrated. I mean, man, The Fighter, incredible. I mean, he's been in a lot of good stuff. Please don't ship it to Amit's parents. Oh my God. Don't do that. Have I ever smoked a stogie and thrown dice at the same time at the craps table? I have. I absolutely have. There's been some long nights at the craps table with cigars. That's right, he did do Shooter. He's pretty good in that. Yes, we do play poker. Cigar smoke tastes like heaven. Oh, Chels, I am starting to research Baccarat. I don't play, but I may start. But yes, I'm starting to research it. I have a whole strategy on craps, and I like craps and Paia. All right, everyone. I am going to go get my life in order. I actually took the day off tomorrow. I'm actually going to set my away message right now on my email. But I took the day off tomorrow, so I am planning on streaming at some point tomorrow. I am not sure when, but we'll figure something out. Probably tomorrow night, I'll stream, and maybe during the day. What's tomorrow's date? December 2nd. Tuesday, 12-2. Out of office. Check. All right, my automatic replies are on. Very important to do that. Crash Tanner's stream. He needs some milk. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm still working tomorrow, but I'm turning my away message on, even though I took the day off. Look, everybody knows when you take the day off, you don't really take the day off. I still have 2 meetings I have to go on and probably have to take a couple of calls, but I will be writing an article probably on Alphabet tomorrow. I'm definitely streaming at night, and I may stream during the day. We'll see. CRM earnings. When is CRM earnings? If that's tomorrow, I'll be really freaking happy because I am looking forward to Salesforce earnings. I think they're going to do really well. It's a dark horse of mine. Damn it. December 3rd. You're right. I like that. PTO is part-time off. I like that. I'm going to steal that from you and start using that myself. I like that. All right, everyone. I appreciate you being here with me. I will see everybody tomorrow. Once again, I apologize for being late and changing the stream time multiple times. Could not be avoided. Enjoy the rest of the night. See everybody tomorrow. Good night. Drink some milk. Milkman out.